This is the reason why I don't want to do any fucking sports betting content, because this is all sports betting content. If you try to do anything else other than this type of sports betting content, you're fucked. You're fucked. No one's going to watch it. No one's going to care. And your comment section is going to be, where are the goddamn picks? Okay? That's what all sports betting content is these days. And especially the clickbait type of titles and the fucking thumbnails. So I typed in sports betting guaranteed profit. This is guaranteed to work. Here's a guarantee right on the goddamn thumbnail. You had to make $1,000 a month on Prize Pick. Guaranteed, right? 177,000 views, okay? This is what I mean. Guaranteed profit. Here's 5.5K views. Guaranteed profit sports betting strategy that isn't talked about enough. I mean, this is all this fucking bullshit is. The one that comes up the most is this Line Maker Sports guy. I don't know him. Maybe he's a nice guy. I'm going to click. Let's see. We go to his page, right? 82,000 subscribers. Now, obviously, there's the sports betting pick type of videos, but there's also like winning is fucking easy. How I won 83% of my sports bets. How I made 5K in 30 days. I mean, like secret plays, the top 0.1%, double your money, be a winning sports bet, like win 70% of your bet, like Jesus Christ. If these videos about guaranteed profit, quote unquote, is about arbitrage, you find minus 130 on one side, plus 150 on the other. You take 10 cents in between, you write that type of shit. At least that is guaranteed profit. Now, finding those spots and then scaling without getting limited, that's a whole different fucking story. If I watch some of these videos about guaranteed profit and it's arbitrage type of stuff, then at least it's valid. So this guy, Line Maker Sports, guaranteed profit. And I want to see what this guy says in both videos. Like, I've never seen these videos before. I don't know this person. There's no beef or anything. I just literally typed in sports betting guaranteed profit into YouTube and wanted to react to some videos. And I just happened to see two from the same person and said, okay, let's take a look.
I'm going to show you guys how you can guarantee yourself a profit betting on the NBA.
Okay, well, obviously you could guarantee yourself a profit betting on the NBA if you're friends with Jonte Porter and possibly Terry Rozier. If that's the advice here, if the advice here is to, become the translator of some foreign NBA player, because apparently translators getting into all these betting issues, like, then guaranteed profit, I get, okay? Or like a referee, Tim Donaghy, be friends with Tim Donaghy, right, from a while ago. Like that, if it's fixed games, okay. Maybe that is a guaranteed profit. Okay, so let's see. He claims the guaranteed profit on the NBA. So let's continue with this.
Let's jump into this NBA strategy. It's 2 easy steps.
Okay, it's always easy. You never see a video or anything like that where it's 2 incredibly difficult steps. It seems like all the steps are about as easy as the others. It's not like there's one easy step and one incredibly difficult step.
Step 1, you're going to go and you're going to look at the slate of NBA games for the whole entire day. And what you're going to do is you're going to look for games on the spread that are -3 or less. Once you go through that, you should have a list of maybe 2 to 3 games on any given slate. Now, once you circle those games, you need to understand that this is going to be a live betting strategy.
Okay. Now I'm intrigued. So you're going to find games, this guy says. You find games that are close, I guess. I guess that's the concept, right? We're not talking about games that have 8-point spreads, 10-point spreads. It doesn't matter, but I mean, let's continue and see.
You are going to be watching these games. So it could be a little bit difficult if there's 2 or 3 games. My advice would be just choose one and really go into it and dive into it for your first time to get a feel of how to do this. So once you have chose that game, you're not going to bet anything pregame. You're going to wait for this game to start. As soon as this game starts, you want to make sure that this game is not completely one-sided. Even though the spread might be -3, -2, -1, well, there's games that right off the bat, the team that's -3 comes out and just absolutely blows out the other team. So you want to make sure that that's not going to happen.
Okay, now I'm starting to get lost. I originally thought that it was going to be the type of thing, it wouldn't be a good strategy anyway, that you bet pregame, like you bet on one side pregame, and then you wait for the other team to get a lead, and then you bet it again at a better price or something like that. Some type of pseudo arbitrage-ish type of thing. why once the team goes up 15-2 or something, or it's the second quarter, it's 42-17, that I got to look for a different game. I don't know. I don't fucking know, but let's see.
I usually suggest is waiting about 4 to 5 minutes into the first quarter before diving really into it.
Well, only 4 or 5 minutes? How much can a team go up in 4 or 5 minutes? 4 or 5 minutes? What? So a team's up by 10-0, 12-2 or something? I mean, like how much can you really go that up in 4 to 5 minutes, where it wouldn't be at least somewhat where the starters are playing and it would be close enough? Let's see where this is going.
Now, once you've waited about that 4 or 5 minute mark and you see that these two teams are playing pretty even, they're not really playing lopsided, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place a bet on the team that is at plus money. So, for example, they might be plus 140, plus 130, plus 120. You're going to put half a unit or a unit. Now, once you have
Okay, which one? Half a unit or a unit? Like, which one should it be? Just put whatever. Put whatever amount of money. Put whatever. Whatever your unit size, even though I'm not a big fan of fucking unit sizes. So you're going to wait 4 or 5 minutes to make sure it's not lopsided. Even though, like, in 4 or 5 minutes, the game could be close. Like, this is what I don't get. There are plenty of NBA games. There are plenty, motherfucking plenty of NBA games where in the first 5 minutes, the game is what? 12-8. The game is 15-11. And then by the fucking end of the half, one team's up by 34 points. I mean, like, there are plenty of times. I mean, just the first 4 or 5 minutes, you could tell everything about a game in 4 or 5 minutes.
done that, you're going to watch the game. And what we're looking for is any basketball, college or the NBA, there's always runs. This happens all game long, where one team will go on a run and they'll take the lead by 6-7 points, and the other team will come back and the other team will go up by 5-6 points. This happens in every game that is pretty tight.
This happens in every game that isn't tight. You're describing basketball. What's a run? 2 possessions with a score, 3 possessions with a score. I mean, like, the runs. There are runs. You're describing basketball. You're describing the progression of sports. But just like, oh, well, a team scores 2 3-pointers in a row. They're on a run. They're on a goddamn run. So this is going downhill pretty fucking quickly. I'm assuming it's gonna be some type of thing where because of this assumption of runs, like, I think there's gonna be some misapplication of regression to the mean. The fact that we're only starting with games that were supposed to be close, quote unquote, that wait for a team to go up by 12 or 15 points and be like, well, the game was supposed to be close, so we can expect the other team to go on a run to get the game to be within 3 points again. And then you bet on the plus side of both sides as it goes back and forth. I'm assuming that's what this is.
You guys just want to fast forward through all this and you guys just want the answers, just go down in the description and click the link. Step 2, once you had that first plus money bet, you're looking for that other team to go on a run. And once that other team goes on their run and the odds switch, and now the other team is plus money, you're going to put a wager in on that play. So what it should look like is pretty much like this. Let's say, for example, you grab the 76ers at plus 150, and then the 76ers end up going on a run. They're going against the Lakers. Now the 76ers go up by 5 or 6 points. Now the Lakers are plus 140, plus 150, midway in the second quarter or whatnot. Now you're going to go and you're going to place a wager on, for example, the Lakers plus 140, plus 150. So now what you have is you have the Lakers at plus 140 or 150, and you got 76ers at plus 140 or plus 150. Now you got both sides at plus money, thus guaranteeing yourself a profit. Now, one thing that is very important that I want to tell you guys is make sure when you do this that you're doing it at 2 separate sports books.
Okay, at least that's a little tidbit of, like, yeah, you don't want to bet on both sides of the game on one sports book. They take a look at that and they feel like they're scalping. You're scalping them. Okay, I admit this is probably the best part of this video. Like, this is actual advice that you wouldn't do this on the same account. The fact is that it's under the assumption that these runs happen. And you don't get burned when there's not a run. When there's not a run, where the other team, where you're betting someone at plus 150 and being able to get the other side at plus, that it happened, it switches all the way in reverse. Because I have not done any mathematical analysis, but I'm assuming that if you throw this in and look at the flow of basketball games, that they're going to be insane amount of times where the team that is up never becomes plus money at all, ever, right? It just goes on and on and on and on. right? So that like waiting 4 or 5 minutes in the game is like this assumption that, well, this game is close, so we have to expect it to be close at the end. It's like, well, one team goes up the first 5 minutes, one team goes on a 6-point run, and you bet them at plus 120. And then you wait for the other team to be a 6, but whatever, that never happens. So next thing you know, you're stuck with a bet that probably had like a 6-7% hold, and you're just eating those. Like you're gonna eat a bet at least 30-40% of the time.
Now, the only way that this strategy doesn't work is somehow you get unlucky after that first 4 or 5 minutes and you take that plus money team. All of a sudden, the other team just goes on a complete roll and ends up going up by 10, 15, 20 points, and then they never are able to recover that.
See, there you go. He just literally mentions the flaw, but doesn't mention how often that happens and how much money you lose on average when that happens. And does that equal or all your profit from fucking everything? Like you only lose if you get unlucky. That's what that said. You'll only lose if you get unlucky. I could say that about a slot machine. You only lose when you get unlucky. Well, okay, then it's the most profitable guaranteed profit system that you could possibly have. Guaranteed. Thumbnail says so, but you only lose if you're unlucky. If he was like into analytics and showed some type of game flow analysis of the past 10 years of NBA games and blah, 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 and you did this like as a model across the board, meaning that you're betting on like fucking every game and multiple times, you're betting like 700 times throughout like 10 different games. Like maybe there's something there, but this is just all faulty assumption and the assumption of regression.
I always suggest do it with a half a unit and a half a unit. That way, even if that first team, somehow you get unlucky and that ends up happening, then it doesn't kill you. So again, let's go through the 2 steps that you need. Step 1, you're going to look at the whole entire slate of NBA games. You're going to circle the spread for games that are -3, -2, -1, or a pick. Again, it's a live betting strategy, so you're going to want to pay attention to whatever games that you have down. Then step 2, about 4 or 5 minute mark, if these teams are staying pretty even, you're going to take the plus money team. Now, once you have money on that plus money team, now you're going to wait for that team to go on a run. So the opposing team ends up becoming the plus money team. Now, when the opposing team becomes the plus money team, you're going to put your wager on them. So now you have a wager on both teams at plus money, thus ensuring yourself a guaranteed profit. And once again, always do it at 2 separate sportsbooks when you are betting on both sides of one game. Now, that's how you can guarantee yourself a profit betting spreads in the NBA.
Yeah, you could guarantee yourself profit if you're able to get plus money on 2 sides of a game. That's it. That's if you really want to break down the concept in general. Imagine pregame having a money line of plus 150 on one side and plus 150 on the other side. Yeah, you're guaranteeing yourself profit if you bet $100 on both sides. That you're going to win money. This isn't like woohoo. Okay, let's see what the comments, because you could always judge what the idiots say in the comments. It's very hit or miss, mostly miss. I did good with it on the first 3 games I tried. Then more and more often, one team just wouldn't relinquish the lead. These runs by each team are not that common. But yeah, this is eternally sardonic? Exactly. How many times does that happen that you eat the 7% hold? Maybe it's even higher, depending on the book that you're 7-9% hold on these live bets sometimes, right? So let's say it happens once, it works once, but for every time it works, 2 times it doesn't. Like, do you make enough money? You probably lose money. It works great for tennis also. I've seen players be at plus 400 and win live. Then the other player goes down to plus 400 live. Like, dude, how dumb are these fucking people? I tried this twice, but my plus bet was placed pregame, failed twice. But waiting, as this video suggests, is a better way of trying. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Imagine there's a plus 150 underdog, and you bet them pregame, and you just wait for them to go on a run in the beginning of the game. Like, why couldn't you? It's literally the same thing. But no, his point is like, well, you have to see whether or not it's lopsided. You have to see whether or not it's like, no, it's literally the same thing. You're betting on something and waiting for the next increment to happen where the current live situation makes them a different price. And depending on the other side, like all these bets in a vacuum are negative EV if the market is efficient. In a vacuum, you just happen to be betting at different times and managed to get a spot where it happens often enough that they can make this goddamn video, but not often enough where you could like just do this and print. To the average fucking schmuck, it looks like, oh, this seems pretty simple. You go on a run, 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 and next thing you know, you're running to the fucking bank to deposit again. Because this doesn't fucking work, people. It doesn't. I mean, it works until it doesn't work. Or as they say, unless it's guaranteed unless you're unlucky. You're guaranteed to win unless you happen to be unlucky. But obviously, there's like, good idea. Oh, all right, be liking. I'm gonna do blah blah blah. Yippee-doo, the channel is golden. Thanks, bro. Who knows how many of these are fucking bots? Right, here we go. Bad advice. Do this 100 times and you'll be surprised how often a team takes a lead and doesn't let it go. I know. I tried. Definitely not a guarantee. Right? It's supposed to be guaranteed, people. It's supposed to be guaranteed. Right? And right underneath it, damn, this is genius. This is genius. I looked at their channel and it just seems like it's a lot of the same, like a lot of videos. They're titled like slightly differently, but like how many different of these types of idiotic strategies can there be? Maybe not. Maybe there is. So let's take a look at another one.
Now, before we get to step 2, make sure you guys stay for step 5.
Oh, we got to stay for step 5. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Whoa. The other video said it was only 2 easy steps. Why are there more steps now? Is it because this is the super advanced version of this strategy that guarantees me daily profits? That's what it says on the title. Before there were 2 easy steps. Now there's 5. Now we got it. We got to wait till step 5. He's teasing step 5. I went from 2 easy steps to 5 steps. Are the other 3 steps incredibly difficult? Right? Is it that? Why are there more steps? I want less steps. It should be, the first video should be 5 steps, and this video, 2 easy steps. And then the third video that they do with the same fucking stupid strategy should be 1 step, and the other one should be just delete your goddamn channel because none of these steps work. None of these steps fucking matter. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for step 5.
Now, talking about step 2 here, you will be betting 1.5 units using this strategy.
Oh, we upped it, people. We upped it 1.5. Now, before it was like either a half a unit or a unit. Like he seemed to be ambivalent about it. Completely ambivalent, just like, seems okay, like whatever. So this is 1 exactly. He really refined this process now. Let's hopefully he's going to talk about the runs soon, right? And soon I'm going to have the runs and I'm going to have to go to the goddamn bathroom.
But you have to monitor the first quarter of the game. You want to make sure that the favorite doesn't jump out to a double-digit lead right away. Now, at the end of the first quarter, if the favorite jumped out to a double-digit lead, then you're just going to avoid this game. All right, you are not going to play this game whatsoever, and you're going to move on to another game.
Okay, so it said instead of 4 or 5 minutes, now we're going to just wait for the end of the quarter. I thought I could wait 4 or 5 minutes, and you're going to tell me these are too many steps now. I like the other video, 2 easy steps, and now I got to wait for the entire quarter. Oh my god, I can't wait 12 fucking minutes. 4 or 5 minutes, I could wait.
Step 3, before the start of the second quarter, what you're going to do is you're going to take 0.75 units and you're going to place that on the underdog. So let's say the underdog's plus 130. You're going to go ahead and place that wager on the underdog. Now, what we're doing here is we're making sure that the game is staying close because the NBA is a game of runs.
Okay, NBA is a game of runs, even though it's not. Even though you're describing actual basketball, right? NBA is a game of runs. So is NBA basketball a game of runs? Not if the implication is that when a team goes on a run, it is because it is hot or because the other team is cold. NBA basketball is a game of runs, but only because natural random processes generate many more long runs than most observers expect to see. It's probably noise. It's probably fucking noise, but people, have fucking confirmation bias, right? And they have selection bias, all these biases that they think they see a pattern in something that really doesn't exist.
If the game is staying close, one team should go up by 5, 6, 7 points, maybe at one time, and then they give up the lead. The other team goes up by 5, 6, 7 points.
It doesn't, but I would respect this more if you showed an actual analysis of it. In the past 10 years, here's a graph of those runs. Here's, and this is why it happens X amount of time, and we're betting X and getting this number. And you have to get plus 124 in this instance versus plus 117. Like if there's some type of basic type of statistics involved with this, maybe Maybe. There's probably not. But I mean, at least you're getting closer to what you should be looking at rather than just like off the top of my head, anecdotal. It happens. It's observable. I think that's a better way of putting it. This happens enough observably that you could get duped into thinking that this is a guaranteed profit system of making money, betting money lines live in the NBA, because it's observable enough that you don't realize that it's not happening as often as you think it is.
Step 4, once we have that wager on the underdog, now we are going to wait for, like I said, the NBA is a game of runs. So now we're going to wait for that underdog to pretty much take the lead. All right. Right, they are going to take the lead by maybe 5 or 6 points or whatnot. And then that makes the favorite at the end of that first quarter. That makes the favorite be
more steps equals more profit. Yeah, that's why they included more steps, right? 2 easy steps, just easy amount of money. 5 steps, 5 times the amount of money. You get okay.
All right. So what you're doing here is you are trying to get plus money on both teams, ensuring yourself a guaranteed profit, because the NBA is a game of runs. So if the game is staying close and the game is predicted to stay close, like I said, you are going to get runs on both sides. So one team should go up by 5 or 6 points at one time, meaning the other side's going to be plus money on the money line. Then once it's switched and that other team goes on a run and that team gets a lead by 5 or 6, that means the other team is going to be plus money, which is meaning that you can guarantee yourself a profit using what I just showed you right here.
Sure,
if you used
$500
able to get
plus money on both sides of the game, but it doesn't.
You would guarantee yourself
just like it doesn't
$100
happen
or
pregame. It doesn't happen
$250
live
no
either.
matter what happens in that game, because the
how many
NBA, like I said,
times
is
does
a game of runs. So you will have opportunities throughout the entire game where one side is plus money and then it switches to the other side being plus money. The only way this doesn't work is, like I said, when the favorite, as soon as the game starts, takes over and just runs away with it.
Yeah, but he can run away with it even if they're up by 2. He can run away with it no matter. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's the same. It's the same thing as the other video. I'm assuming step 5 is don't do it at the same sports book.
Now, the most important step to this is not even being able to find the opportunity to be able to do this, but you have to wager separately on different sports books. You cannot do this at the same sports book. If you do this at the same sports book, they will ban you eventually and they will kick your account. They won't even limit you. They will just absolutely kick your account because they do not want sports bettors betting both sides of a game at the same sports book. And there are some big opportunities with this. There has been games where you can catch both sides at plus 150 plus, and you can guarantee yourself a nice profit for sure. But it does take patience, and it does take the right angles of watching.
The right angles of watching. Oh, I didn't. That's the secret. The angles of watching. So whether or not I watch my TV screen from like 90-degree angle or 120-degree angle. So the angle of the television, Matt, that's really the secret here. Okay, let's take a look at the fucking comments. Obviously, you have all the stupid people. I can't believe you do this. Thank God I found your channel, right? It says here, great strategy, but one question. When I do the step 3, betting the underdog before the start of the second quarter, if I later on the underdog team, I betted on, not good grammar, got smashed by more points later, won't it result in my 0.75 unit loss? Yes. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. These are the people that actually have logic. Of course, they don't reply to the people that have logic. Sounds good, but can still lose money when the wrong team runs away with the game in second, third, and fourth quarters. So what I want to know is, will the close games of small profit outweigh the few losses of a team that loses with only one-way bet? That's literally what I said before. But no, it's just this happens observably enough that you could get duped. It sounds good. This is a very good, it sounds good as a salesmanship of like, yo, yeah, the game goes, he gets up by 6, they get up by 4, they get up by 8, they get up by 2, and I can bet plus money on both sides. Yeah, that happens often enough. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all. It happens plenty. But how about the times where it doesn't happen and you're eating the hold on a one-way bet versus the times that you get both sides and squeak out, 10% or something like that. If that. If you do it correctly. And it actually works out that way. You're probably not, because you're playing a hold on both sides of the bet anyway. So this would have to happen a lot more often than what you would think. And it happens often enough that you think it happens often. So anything else in the comments here? Your GOAT, your great pick, great tips, what a nugget, great content, you're the GOAT. This is genius, game changer. If you watch this and you did it once and it happened to work, then you come back to the video and go, oh, this is genius. And then you do it a second time and it works again. And then next thing you know, by the 20th time, you've lost money. You got unlucky the third time and unlucky the fourth time. And it worked the fifth time. And you got unlucky, quote unquote, the sixth and seventh. The next thing you know, you started out that it worked one or two or three times in the beginning that you think this is a thing. And next thing you know, it's a month later and you just think you've been getting unlucky as you lose money. That's why they put out content like, I don't know, maybe the guy actually thinks this is a thing. He can't possibly think that. If you did this all the time, you'd fucking know. This is something that he thought of in theory and isn't fucking doing. That's what I would suspect, at least. It's not guaranteed. It's definitely not guaranteed. This is the guaranteed way to feel like this is a profitable system. And if it works one or two times in the beginning, you'll be convinced of that anecdotally. And it'll work, maybe 35% of the time. And the other times it doesn't. You lost money on a live bet. And so don't do this.